67-65. Well, it's happy. The Turtle's here to say Happy New Year.
Listen, the key thing is Red Turtle Productions welcomes the Turtle.
The Turtle is here.
All right. Disaster, Wayne.
It wasn't the greatest game, was it? No, it wasn't. But I saw you out making all the kids happy. Must be a great job to have. Yeah, he loves that. Absolutely loves that. And you must be crushed by what happened out there on the court. Oh, my God. I know. We're going to have to give you the rest of the day off, but we thank you for dropping in on the Northwestern Mutual Postgame show. They gave up 14 in a row, Bruce. And as you said, Maryland didn't get close to the rim almost at all down the stretch. The last 5 minutes was not a good 5 minutes for Maryland.
Somehow or another, the guy who was on fire all day never touched the ball. Now, is that a credit to the Nebraska defense that they shut down Herter at the end? Or was it just a mistake? But, wow, the last 6 shots, just what were they? It was like they didn't hit the rim. They didn't do anything. And look, it was great to see DeMonte Dodd back. Herter had a career day. But at the end of the day, Melo always seems to come through in those circumstances. Today, it didn't happen.
He had a couple shots at it, one under the basket to my right, one from the three-point line right there. As they had to throw the ball into Dodd, none of the flash openings happened as Maryland had the ball at the last 4.7 seconds. Just couldn't get the shot off. It's very unusual
to
for
happen
Maryland.
at home. It doesn't happen at home. And this game, we're going to look back later on in the season, and this game is just is painful.
Well, maybe Nebraska's actually good. They scored 54 points against Indiana in the second half the other night. They come in here and put on a 14-0 run over the last 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
But Wayne, we had
and all that cheering in the background. They're happy.
Terps had a 27-6 run. I'm not knocking Nebraska. Yep. They played fine. They beat Maryland. But at home, you don't get the last 14 points scored against you. It just doesn't happen. They were up 41-33, and before you knew it, the game was virtually out of reach, over, relaxing, talking about Michigan. It's a disastrous loss, no matter how you look at it. But it's one game out of 18. It's bound to happen. And now they got to make it up. Is this their one loss at home this year? I sure hope so. But 7 more games and teams that come in stronger than Nebraska is very, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
So Maryland now moves on. It's Michigan, then Indiana here. Melo had 14. Herter had 26. He came close to the record for three-pointers held by Mike Jones. He looked fantastic for a while. Justin Jackson had the blocks. Maryland had the ball moving. DeMonte Dodd got in. We see a DeMonte Dodd highlight here. He really works on the offensive glass. He gets the bucket.
There's some problems right now on the team. I mean, I don't know how many points Nickens had. It wasn't many. And I don't know how many points Bender had.
Well, we'll get to that scoreboard in a moment. But, yeah, there were some soft spots, but Maryland had it rolling. This post-game show brought to you by Northwestern Mutual Life and Viner Consulting. We'll be back with the Maryland scoreboard in a moment. Support for TerpTalk Game Day comes from Dan Schiffman of Northwestern Mutual. Team up with the right financial partner to advise you on your personal and financial plans. You and Northwestern Mutual, stronger together. You can reach Dan at 301-698-8955 or on the web at www.danschiffman.com. That's DANSCHIFFMAN, danschiffman.com, and 301-698-8955. I'm Wayne Viner. That's Bruce Pauser for Red Turtle Productions. You have the Terrapin scoreboard here. You were mentioning Bender. He had a lot of play close to the basket. He doesn't score. He goes 0 for 4 in 16 minutes.
Wow, it's not much to say. A couple turnovers, 5 rebounds. I was surprised to see him in there down. He was in there the bulk of the 5-minute stretch when the lead dissipated.
Well,
and he just wasn't contributing on offense.
He's looked to be more of an offensive option than Dodd. He has 6 points, 2 of 5, 2 of 4 in the free throws. He has 4 rebounds and 13. But let's look on the positive side. Herter, 9 of 17. He's 7-11 from beyond the arc. 1 of 2 for the free throws. He gets 5 boards, 3 assists in 35 minutes. And then Melo, you said he needed to score 24. Guess he really needed to score 17. He ends up with 14 points.
5 for 15. It's not a good game for him. 16 turnovers, 11 assists, rebounds. They held their own, down by 2. But you can't lose a 12-point lead at home. I don't have to say that. Turgeon, the entire squad knows that, and they got to be sick to start off the season. Next game is when? Saturday, 1 o'clock?
I don't know.
6 o'clock, yes, against Michigan. 8 o'clock?
3:45 or so, 3:15.
Okay.
3:15 says intern Mason as he takes the notebook away before.
It's going to be a hard one to come back from.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that now.
Super fun. It just looked so good when Maryland roared out. They were down 47-45. Melo hits that hanging 3 here, a miraculous shot. He makes the free throws. He's fouled. Maryland races out at 62-50, and then Maryland gets stuck at 65. It just
down the wire, the last 5 minutes, they went into a zone, and there was no answer. And I don't know what the answer should have been.
Well, you pointed out when they change. When Nebraska takes out the bigs, they go smaller, and it looked like a futile move, and yet it changed the game.
Yeah, well, he was going back and forth, and when they went small, which they didn't do the whole game, the game changed. But you know what? Take the tape, throw it away. It was a disaster. They lost. They're 1-1 in the conference, and we can be rest assured when the ratings come out tomorrow, we'll still not be in the top 25.
Well, not after that. A little over 15,000 came into Xfinity Center this New Year's Day. And as I remarked when we started with the Turtle, usually the score's up on the board. Not today, but we know what it was. It's 67-65. Cornhuskers. I guess we wish them well, and that might do it for Nebraska. Probably one of the biggest wins they've had. Just flat out biggest wins.
Can you imagine back-to-back wins at Indiana and Maryland for a 6-17?
It was now 7-7 and lost to Gardner-Webb just a week ago.
Played a tough schedule, though. Did it help them down the wire here? They played Creighton. You were telling me everybody.
UCLA. They played at Virginia Tech.
Right.
They played some big games.
Yeah. Well, upsets galore. So it's college basketball.
Right.
But
all right, that's going to do it for today in lovely College Park. Bruce.
So long, everybody. Hey, Happy New Year. It's just a game. I keep telling myself that. But what the heck? We're 1-1, 13-2. We'll be all right, I hope.
Good afternoon from Xfinity Center.